Yes, after a delay of 10 minutes to allow the huge crowd to get in, it's Liverpool 0, West Ham 0 after exactly 6 minutes. Anything less than a win for West Ham tonight, and down they go to the second division, and Aston Villa escape. Always attractive to watch. West Ham have also been dreadfully ineffective at times, until that is in their last 6 games, 5 of which they've won. It may be too late for John Lyle's men, but they haven't come here just to help Liverpool's cause. And if West Ham do win, then Friday's game against Arsenal here would be a nerve-jangling affair. A draw then would give Arsenal their first championship since their own double in 1971. There's no doubt that the Liverpool players were drained both physically and mentally after their outstanding achievement in winning the FA Cup after 2 hours of a thrilling final at Wembley last Saturday. It may have taken its toll, but I have the feeling that Liverpool, now at their last base camp on the mountain, can look up and see the peak shining in the sunlight. Their own blend of outstanding skills and technique, plus the dedication after Hillsborough and a wave of emotion, should be enough to see them through. 6.5 minutes gone. Liverpool 0, West Ham 0.
And back for commentary from Peter Jones and from Alan Green, and expert summaries from Jimmy Armfield in just a moment.
We played just 10 minutes here in the first half at Anfield, and the scoreline remains Liverpool 0, West Ham United 0, in a game that simply is vital to both teams, but especially to West Ham, who have to win tonight to maintain their first division status. Let me quickly run down the 2 lineups. Liverpool with a couple of changes from the team that started in the FA Cup final on Saturday at Wembley. They've left out Steve Staunton, and Peter Beardsley is dropped to substitute. So the team is Grobbelaar in goals, a back 4 from right to left of Venison, Hansen, Ablett and Nicol. In midfield, Houghton, McMahon, Whelan and Barnes. And the 2 strikers tonight, Aldridge and Rush. And Aldridge and Rush have never played together on a losing Liverpool lineup. West Ham also make a change from the team that won so handsomely at Nottingham Forest last Thursday night. That sees the return of Paul Ince to the midfield. Kevin Keane drops to substitute. So West Ham have McKnight in goals, a back 4 of Paris, Gale, Martin and Dix. In midfield they've got Ward, Dickens, Ince and Brady. Up front, Rossignol and Slater, with the 2 substitutes, Keane, as I've said, and also Frank McAvenny. And West Ham attacking immediately. The ball played into Rossignol inside the Liverpool penalty area. Couldn't gather possession. If he had done, that would have been some danger to Liverpool. He was no more than 8 yards out. Nicol was close to him, but Rossignol with a little bit of space there, Jimmy Armfield.
Yes, West Ham was started very well. It was a good run down the left-hand side by Julian Dix. That's the second in the match so far. He's not afraid of going forward. It was a good cross just beyond Leroy Rossignol. West Ham was started very promisingly, backed up by quite a lot of fans too, who've made the long trip.
West Ham all in white tonight with blue flashes down the sides. Liverpool in their traditional red. It is a beautiful summer's evening here on Merseyside. Jimmy Armfield's got his short sleeve shirt on, showing off again. And incidentally, Jimmy, the last time I saw Paris, it was also a beautiful evening.
Yes, well done, you beat me to it.
Paris, the right full back for West Ham. And he's got to do some defending now because Nicol's attacking down the left line. Low cross in, Rush needed the touch, didn't get it. And finally it was Dix who put the ball behind the West Ham goal for a corner to Liverpool. But Rush inches away from giving Liverpool the lead.
Brilliant ball across the goal there. Excellent ball. I thought Rush was just going to get on the end of it. It was a good clearance by young
The corner
Dix.
taken. Barnes whips it in left-footed, half cleared by West Ham. Met by McMahon, left side of the penalty area. Played into Rush, who turns, shoots, and McKnight makes the save by the near post. I wonder if you agree, Jimmy, that on Saturday, in extra time at Wembley, we saw the return of Rush to something like his old form, and already we've had 2 flashes from him tonight.
Yes, I think it was the kind of moment he needed really to lift him. He's had a difficult season, he's short of match practice, but he came back on Saturday, proved what a great player he is, and hopefully will regain the form he had before he went to Italy. But there's been signs, certainly at Wembley and in this first few minutes. That was a great shot on the turn there. It'll do Alan McKnight a lot of good too to have saved that.
West Ham attacking the Kop end in this first half, playing from left to right, and they've got a free kick about a third the way inside the Liverpool half. Near side, West Ham right, taken by Ward, headed on by Gale. Out comes Grobbelaar, punches clear, Ince heads back towards goal, and it goes wide of the Liverpool net. Denison was guarding the near post to make sure it did just that. Goal kick to Liverpool.
Just an awkward moment there for Liverpool. Grobbelaar came out a long way, as is his wont, but he got a fist on it. If Ince had headed it a bit more accurately, there could have been a bit of danger there.
Well, Paul Ince, a man who provided some danger to Liverpool, let's face it, in the Littlewoods Cup tie at Upton Park earlier in the season, when he scored twice to help West Ham beat Liverpool in that shock result by 4-1. West Ham would settle for a 1-0 victory tonight, but it really is a tremendous task ahead of them. Liverpool move forward, attacking. Aldridge in possession, stabs the ball out, right-footed to Barnes on the Liverpool left. Good challenge by Paris. Ball blocked away. Nicol picks it up for Liverpool. Little bit of room. Nicol looks up. Rush makes the run. Aldridge drifts away. Nicol decides to play it to Whelan instead. 15 yards to his right. Now picked up by Venison, who controlled the ball at the second attempt, lost the momentum, and knocks it back to Hansen on the halfway line. Hansen moves infield, plays it forward to Aldridge. He lets it go. Rush can't collect it. Liverpool retain possession though as West Ham's clearance finds Outlet, and he finds Nicol. Nicol forward to Rush. Whelan, lovely ball forward to McMahon, left side of the West Ham penalty area. Aldridge makes the run. McMahon keeps the ball deep inside the penalty area. The shot by Houghton. Rush is there and is deflected over the net. Behind for a corner to Liverpool.
Yes, it was Gale who just got his foot there in time. Look, real threat, McMahon. It's a lovely ball from Whelan, put McMahon through on the left. He took his time, rolled it across, Rush hit it perfectly. Gale just got enough on it to put it over the bar.
The corner is taken quickly. Nicol crosses left-footed towards the far post. Too far though. Houghton has to chase back. Collects possession. A yard in from the far touchline. Liverpool right. Lays it back to Whelan. Whelan to Hansen. A third the way inside the West Ham half. Plays it to his left to McMahon. McMahon beats Brady but loses possession to Rosenior, and it's back with Brady again. To Paris. Near side West Ham right. Runs straight into Nicol, but the ball is deflected to Ward. Ward is challenged and beaten by Barnes, who beats two West Ham players. Now a third. Lays it short to Houghton. Venison's on the overlap on the right for Liverpool. Infield to Houghton again. Venison still going. Houghton spots him. Level with the edge of the West Ham penalty area. Ball slotted through to Barnes inside the area. Barnes checks, lays it low for Rush. Rush with his back to goal. Forced to run out of the penalty area, then challenged by Alvin Martin. Referee says that was no foul, and West Ham bring it clear. Attacking down the far side through Slater. Slater is beaten to the challenge by Hansen, and Hansen immediately finds Houghton. The pace relentless despite the heat. Barnes just outside the penalty area. Shoots left-footed just wide of goal. Goal kick to West Ham. West Ham may have started brightly, but it's been all Liverpool the last 10 minutes, and the chances beginning to go their way.
Looks a bit ominous for the Hammers in the last few minutes. As you say, they did start very well. Midfield just losing out a little bit. Houghton and Whelan looking very prominent. Barnes is starting to drift around a little bit, which has given West Ham a bit of a problem.
There seems to be quite a lot of space, Jimmy. I mean, West Ham have to attack Liverpool at every opportunity, but it's bound to leave room at the back, and Liverpool are the side best equipped to expose any areas like that. Liverpool attack again. Rush deep inside the West Ham half, claiming that he's got the corner, but the referee, Mr. Steve Lodge from Barnsley, makes sure that everybody knows that it's a goal kick. Aldridge protests, but to no avail. And Alan McKnight, who came back into the West Ham side for the game at the City Ground last Thursday, that 2-1 win against Nottingham Forest, takes the goal kick right-footed, headed away by Hansen from inside the Liverpool half. Rush now to Whelan, just across the halfway line. Whelan plays it forward to Barnes. McMahon makes the run. Barnes keeps possession, then finds Rush, who loses contact with the ball and also concedes a free kick, having made a hefty challenge on Paris. Late arrivals, by the way, the West Ham supporters still trying to get in to the area that's assigned to away fans here at Anfield. That's the way to the left. And I think, unfortunately, I was talking to a senior police officer a short time ago. He said that one of their trains was due to get into Lime Street at 7:30. So frankly, they've got very little chance of seeing any action here tonight. Not that there's much room left. It is a packed Anfield. Full house of 42,500 will receive the official attendance sometime later in the game. Liverpool attack the goal to the left. Barnes, Houghton's made the run. Barnes plays it to Rush instead. Now it's with Houghton. Right side of the West Ham penalty area. Turns, crosses first time, header away by Gale as Aldridge waiting to pounce on the far post, and Paris picks up possession for West Ham, close to the corner flag, deep inside his own half. The clearance right-footed towards the halfway line. Nicol shimmies and then plays the ball back right-footed towards Grobbelaar.
It was interesting from my point of view to see what effect that hard cup final was going to have on Liverpool. It doesn't seem to have had a great deal of effect. They've started very brightly. They started to knock the ball around with a lot of confidence.
Whelan to McMahon, running towards the West Ham penalty area, Russian space, but McMahon doesn't spot him. Now it's with Whelan, out to Barnes, left side of the penalty area, takes Paris on the outside, beats him, plenty of room for Barnes to get the cross in, and it's Ulrich for Liverpool! His 31st goal of the season, such a vital one. 6 vital goals of the last 5 games, and the 7th now tonight. John Ulrich stabbing it home, right-footed from no more than a couple of yards. That is the Predators' instinct, the goal-scoring art. John Ulrich, Liverpool 1, West Ham 0.
And you've got to hand it to him, really, in the right place at the right time. Only a couple of yards from goal, but he knew what was on. As we say, he had the smell for the goal there. Took the chance well, straight into the roof of the net, but it was Barnes who made it. It was a brilliant dribble by Barnes down the left-hand side. I'm sure Bobby Robson would have loved to have had him in his side tonight. He went round Paris, and it's given West Ham a bit of a mountain to climb now.
As if Ulrich in this goal-scoring form isn't enough, of course, that's 21 goals now in the last 22 games, if you include tonight. We've got the return of Rush to form. It really is very ominous for West Ham, and that too means it's ominous for Arsenal. We'll let you know the vital nature of the goal scored by Liverpool as the evening goes on. At the moment, suffice to say that if Liverpool win this game by 1-0, then Arsenal, as they did before the match, have to win at Anfield on Friday night. But more Liverpool goals could spell more trouble for Arsenal. West Ham attack, though, the Liverpool penalty area, and then it's played culturally away by Liverpool. Barnes, the provider of the opening goal, plays it infield to McMahon. Hit to the far side, 20 yards to Venison on the Liverpool right. Further right to Houghton, a yard in from the far touchline. Houghton infield to Hansen once more. Still inside the Liverpool half, but they're in no hurry. Plenty of patience. They've gained that over the years at Anfield. But now a sprinting run from Hansen. Finds Houghton in space, right side of the penalty area. Crosses low, cut out by Gale. And West Ham bring it clear through Slater. Slater infield to Ince. Just running outside the centre circle now. Out to Slater, far side, West Ham left. Back to Gale, forward to Ince again, and Ince is brought down. The challenge by Hansen, a little clumsy and a little late, and that will be a free kick to West Ham, once the referees had a stern word to the former Liverpool captain. The free kick still a good 10 yards outside the Liverpool penalty area, though. So we're looking for a drifting cross from Liam Brady. 22 minutes gone. Liverpool leading through that John Ulrich goal. Brady hits the free kick, left-footed. Rossinier goes up, wins the header, hits the crossbar, and behind for a corner. But the linesman has spotted that Rossinier used the elbow, and noticed the flag went up immediately. So even if the ball had gone in, it would not have counted. It's not a corner. It's a free kick to Liverpool, and they've taken it immediately. But Rossinier is showing that he can provide some danger for Liverpool. Now here's the other danger for West Ham. Ian Rush, deep inside the West Ham half, plays it back to Barnes outside the penalty area. Barnes hesitates, and he's robbed by Ward. Dickens brings it clear. McMahon wins the challenge, but only succeeds in knocking the ball behind the West Ham goal for a goal kick to West Ham.
I think Rossinier is one of the main hopes that West Ham have tonight. He's a strong player, he's good in the air, very brave. If they can get the crosses into him, he'll cause problems at the back. But I think a lot of it's going to depend on the service from the midfield, and the key men to me are Ince, Brady and Ward. If they can get the crosses coming in, I think, they can still get back into this game. But at the moment, they're a bit under the collar.
It was always likely to be an attractive game with West Ham playing. It certainly has to be now, because West Ham have no option but to take the game to Liverpool, and Liverpool will hope to catch them on the break. Not that they've that's unfair to Liverpool, I suppose, saying that they're catching West Ham on the break. They've been dominating them the last 15 minutes. And they lead by the John Ulrich goal, his 31st of the season. But I think at the beginning of the season, with the return of Ian Rush from Juventus, many of us thought that John Ulrich would soon be on his way. Kenny Dalglish held on to him, and that's proved a very wise judgment. Ulrich having scored more goals this season than he did last when Rush was at Anfield. Or rather, when Rush was away from Anfield. West Ham in possession, inside the Liverpool half. Near side, their right. Ince tries to skip between two players, McMahon and Nicol, but he can't do it, and it's brought away by Liverpool to Aldridge. Aldridge with a poor pass towards Barnes. West Ham intercept. Martin plays it forward to Ince. Back to Martin. Martin plays it to his left to Gale, and Gale sweeps it to the far side to Brady. Dix is on the overlap, and Brady finds him just crossing the halfway line now. Dix chips it forward towards Slater. Good ball that was to Slater. Slater runs beyond Rossinier. Rossinier didn't make the move, and they almost bumped into each other, and the ball drifted harmlessly through to Grobbelaar.
Big match for young Slater. It's the first time I've seen him play, actually. There's a lot at stake here. It's a young lad. He's not been in the side very long. It's a big test for him against players, like Hansen.
Barnes for Liverpool. To Whelan, the Liverpool captain, inside the centre circle. Picked up by McMahon. Played simply and neatly to his right for Venison, and Venison hits it along towards Rush. The header away by Gale. Aldridge chases it. Paris comes across, and Paris wins possession for West Ham, and then clears right-footed towards the halfway line, where it's headed on by Slater to Dickens. Rossinier goes offside, then checks. Plays a 1-2 with Dickens, and then finally the interception by Venison, and Liverpool bring it clear once more. Houghton gives the ball away. Rare mistake from the Liverpool midfield player. And there is an enormous crowd inside that West Ham standing pen, away on the far side in the corner. Police around there in much attendance. There seem to be far too many people in there. Ball, meantime, is deep inside the Liverpool half, and then Liverpool clear towards the halfway line, where it's met by Aldridge. Knocked back to Whelan, swept to the left to Nicol. The touch off for McMahon. Liverpool full of confidence, as you would expect. McMahon going to head it 40 yards towards Houghton on the far side. Too far ahead of Houghton, and it drifts behind for a goal kick to West Ham, and the ball just over in that far corner for a moment, where there really do seem to be far too many people in there.
Yes, there does seem to be a lot of people. I think when you get people coming in late, there's always a problem, though. When it's a ticket match or not, when they come late, when there's been a train delay, there's always a problem. Some people are comfortable, and then you get another 100 people coming in, and it suddenly pushes everybody through. It's a bit of a problem.
Well, the game is sold out, quite simply, and I know that Peter Robinson, the Liverpool chief executive, was saying at 6 o'clock there were enough people in attendance either inside or just outside the ground to fill it at that stage, and you still had at least 2 train loads of West Ham fans on their way. We played 26 and a half minutes. Liverpool 1, West Ham 0. Now the linesman on the far side has called the referee's attention for something. Talking to the referee, I think Liam Brady may well have said something off the ball, and indeed the referee, Mr. Lodge, is speaking sternly to Mr. Brady. Don't do it again, son. Throw in, waiting to be taken by Barry Venison. The referee indicates that he's happy, and Venison takes the throw to Rush. Back to Houghton. Rush is on the chase on the right hand side, beyond Gale. Plenty of room in Rush. Barnes making the run on the far post. Rush measures his cross. It takes a deflection. Up goes Aldridge. McKnight with a punch clearance. Dickens is beaten by McMahon. McMahon chases to this near side. Liverpool left. Keeps the ball in play. Nicol. Barnes. Lovely back heel. McMahon running into the penalty area. Back for Houghton. Intercepted by Ince. And that was a wonderful Liverpool move. But Paul Ince, the man with a crucial interception, and West Ham bring it clear.
It was absolutely brilliant, that little improvised flick on by Barnes was absolutely brilliant. Put McMahon in possession. He might have done better with his cross there.
17 minutes to go in this first half, and time for Peter Jones to exert some breath. Have you got any, also?
What a lovely evening, isn't it? Beautiful. Lovely warm evening here, and we can't underline often enough how vital this game is to both sides. I can never remember last week of a First Division season where one match on a Tuesday decides whether one team goes down to the Second Division or not, and then on Friday to decide the two teams concerned which of those two will win the championship. An amazing week here. At the moment, Liverpool leading by that single John Aldridge goal. Magic by Barnes again on the left. Drove the ball in low, and Aldridge, as Jimmy Armfield says, is always there when he's wanted. 1-0 then to Liverpool. Ball on the far side from us. Ray Houghton wearing 7 tonight. Liverpool, and he'd hardly tell you, all in red, and West Ham in their change strip of all white with the famous claret and blue favours. As the ball is with Brady. Every bit of touches from Brady in the first 10 minutes, when certainly West Ham were very positive indeed. Ball back with Brady inside the centre circle. West Ham playing from left to right as we look down, almost over the halfway line. Perfect position at Anfield on a perfect summer's evening. Liverpool leading by 1-0. Ince, Rosinho gets the ball back once more, lays it square. Good running by Ward down the ref. Cross comes in from him, the header comes in from Rosinho, and West Ham have equalised. Lovely running by Mark Ward down the right. The cross was perfect, Rosinho was perfect too. The header straight past Bruce Grobbelaar. We have had almost half an hour of the first half, and West Ham, to the delight of their supporters away to the left, are back on equal terms. We've got a match again now. Liverpool 1, West Ham 1.
It was an excellent move, actually. They put 5 passes together before it got out to Ward. A lot of confidence in that move altogether. Ward's cross was absolutely perfect. It was driven across. Liverpool couldn't quite find a man to answer it. That man Rossini, as I mentioned to Alan there just a few moments ago, if you put the service in, he's the one who put his head on it. He got his head down. Bruce Grobbelaar never saw it. He powered the ball in. We've got a good match now, Peter.
Liverpool 1, West Ham 1, and Rosinho, who scored some vital goals in the last sequence, where West Ham have won 5 of their 6 games. As far as their supporters are concerned, they say, why didn't we do that back last November and December and January? And they frankly were very, very ineffective. Always attractive to watch. That's neither here nor there. Hansen comes in for a challenge, and Hansen could find himself, I think, in a spot of bother here, because he brought down Stuart Slater, and Hansen knew it. And the referee, quite correctly, will take the name of Hansen. Slater was past him, Jim, there's no doubt.
Well, it's the second time, isn't it? He brought somebody down just a few moments ago. I can't remember who it was. I think it was Ince about 5 minutes ago. And young Slater there showed a bit of pace. That will have encouraged all the supporters who've made the long trip from South East London.
Brady takes the free kick, drives it to the edge of the Liverpool penalty area, comes off the head of Ablett, I would have thought, but the referee says there was a bit of elbowing in any case. So that's a free kick to Liverpool. Great noise now from the West Ham supporters. It's like a forest of them away down there to the left in one corner, the Kop away to the right, the sun still shining down here on Anfield. 2 vital games for Liverpool this week. Remember, a draw tonight and a draw on Friday against Arsenal will be enough to give them the championship and the double, which would be unique. First league side ever to do the double twice. And again, a bit of fouling by Liverpool. This time Ronnie Whelan, the captain, and Mark Ward, who flattens himself on the ground. Free kick then to West Ham, who after the first goal, scored after 19 minutes by John Aldridge, really were under the whip. And now they've got the equaliser, and that will make all the difference, Jimmy.
Yes, well, they had to get back in the game quickly. It was so important after John Aldridge had scored that they got back into the game quickly. But to be fair to West Ham, I think they've been Liverpool's equals so far. They had 10 minutes where they were really under the cosh, but they've done very well.
The free kick coming in from Paris. Rosinho again gets his header to it, but this time he couldn't find young Slater. 20 just a few months ago. Paris plays it towards us. Small figure of Ward. Ward, a lovely ball forward, and Nicol read that one well, because that was going straight into the path of Slater. So it's another corner, their 3rd corner of the night. And they've been very, very positive, West Ham. As I say, always so attractive to watch, but as one of their old stalwart players has been saying to us so often this season, Trevor Brooking says you can't go on being attractive and not get results. And that's what West Ham have not been doing until the last 6 games. They take the corner, they drive it square. Brady, left foot of Brady, high to the far side. Again, looking for Rosinho. The shot will come in from Dickens. And finally it's cleared anywhere by Steve Nicol. Still halfway inside the Liverpool half. Still West Ham. Slater has the ball. He's challenged by Houghton. Drops to Ince. Ince gets away from Martin, who was there to help him out. Martin now has to come back towards his own goal. Short square Brady. Ince halfway inside the Liverpool half. And Ince goes forward. And a little bit of stuff off the ball there, but Ward will still play on, quite rightly. Plays it back to Paris. Still inside the Liverpool half. Square to Brady inside the centre circle. Brady out to Slater, outside left position. Comes inside Houghton. Good skills by Slater. Goes outside. Still holds the ball. He's got Julian Dix to help him out, the fullback. Doesn't. Drives it across. And Grobbelaar was there. Ablett was there. But now certainly West Ham very, very positive indeed.
Yes, the referee saw that. Martin kicked Aldridge off the ball. What happened was Aldridge came in hard on Aldridge. Came on hard on Martin. And Alvin Martin retaliated. The referee's seen it. I think that he's waiting for the ball to go dead before he does something about it. It hasn't gone dead since that incident. But he did spot it, I'm sure he did.
Well, we shall see what the referee will do about that incident, and certainly West Ham have missed Alvin Martin when he's been out. They miss his experience and his physical strength. The ball inside the centre circle again, driven to the far side by Ward. Slater will pick it up. Slater holds 10 yards in from the far touchline. Venison has to stay with him, touches it back to Brady. Long cross comes in from Brady, looking for Rossignol. He wins the ball, but no real danger that time to Grobbelaar. He's not very pleased, I think, with some of his defenders, and beckons angrily that they should move downfield for him. And now the right foot kick from Grobbelaar drops just inside the West Ham half. Brady, though, will play it back to Tony Gale, once of Fulham, a cultured player, but at times can be found out by quick runners. And I think the Martin-Gale combination is the best that West Ham can have at the centre, which is why I say they missed Martin when he was out of the side. Ablett hits him in the face there. Ball breaks. Dickens tries to stab it through to Rossignol. Couldn't, though. Picked up by Ronnie Whelan. Square to Venison. It's one apiece here. 35 minutes have gone in the first half. West Ham will have to win or they'll go away from the First Division. And as far as Liverpool are concerned, a draw tonight, as we were saying, and a draw on Friday against Arsenal will be enough. What they want tonight is a handsome win. Well, they looked all on course for that when Aldridge scored, but West Ham have equalised. Again, Gale is there, covers well. There's McMahon, came in strong. A vital member, of course, of the Liverpool side this season, and certainly shone last Saturday at Wembley in that 2 hours of thrilling football, which ended up with the silver trophy being paraded here half an hour before the match on a red top table just below us. Paris, and he'll find Ward. Ward plays it square to Paris, back to Ward, flicks it onto Brady, 10 yards inside the Liverpool half. Neat little build-up by West Ham. Ward still holds it, plays it square. Slater now trying his luck down the right. Nice composed player despite his youth. Cross comes in from Ward. Rossignol wins it. Dickens tries an overhead kick, didn't quite go as far as Ince. And Liverpool in all sorts of trouble at the moment. And finally Ronnie Whelan shakes his head in disgust at that, and Houghton got in his way. That was a mess, Jim.
Yes, good job Ronnie Whelan kept his head anyway. It was a bit of pressure there by West Ham. They knocked some passes round again. Little Ward's been prominent and Ince. Slater started to come into it since they got the goal. It's looking a lot brighter for them.
Alan Hansen, the former captain, got a lot of space and starts to move forward for the second time tonight. This time plays it to McMahon onto Barnes. Barnes, Nicol. Nicol is challenged and tries to burst his way through, can't. And in the end, Ian Rush comes in to join in. And Ian Rush is absolutely incensed by that. And the free kick is given to West Ham. And quite rightly, the referee having a word with Ian Rush, who quite unnecessarily there showed his anger and his emotion. And why John Aldridge is joining in, I really don't know.
Yes, he lost his head there, Ian Rush. He's only to shout like that. He's a bit fortunate, really. The referee was a bit lenient, I think. But there's a bit of teeth in this match, isn't there? It's boiling up a bit. It's great.
It's Liverpool 1, West Ham 1. And West Ham now take the free kick with Tony Gale. Rossignol again wins it in the air, but the accuracy was missing. He was trying to find Brady, only finds Venison, who's replaced Staunton. Rush goes on a run, flicks it through the gap. Aldridge is offside. Flag went up immediately, and again a little frustration. McMahon stupidly shaking his fist at the linesman. Great side Liverpool. I hate to see that.
Yes, it just shows really they've won the FA Cup, but they won't be happy unless they win the league, because they set the stall out at the start of the season, I'm sure, to win the championship. That's the number one target. And if you ask them which prize they'd love to win most of all, I'm sure they'd say the championship. They really are keyed up for this one, and so are West Ham too, to be fair. They've come here with 5 wins out of 6 games.
Yeah, 5 of the last 6, certainly.
5 out of 6, so it's the best run they've had for quite a long time, apart from this season.
Long clearance by Alan McKnight, the West Ham goalkeeper, away to the left. Loose ball picked up by Brady. Houghton will stay with him. There's a bit of handball by Liam Brady in any case. He puts his hands on his hips and says, I don't believe that. Got away with that when I was playing for Ascoli, but he didn't there. Free kick to Liverpool then, and they can calm it down a little bit. Because the one thing Liverpool don't want to do is to lose their rag when they get decisions they feel is against them. They have enough quality to win matches, as we've seen. They're unbeaten since New Year's Day. Have done remarkably well since Hillsborough. That first very emotional match back in league football against Everton, I remember. And since then they've done splendidly. So they really ought to leave their skills to speak for themselves. Good tackle by Martin, robs Rush. Ball inside the centre circle. Brady losing a bit of hair, but the skill is still there. That beautiful left foot of Liam Brady. Laid out to Julian Dix, the fullback. Slater back to Dix, and Dix will try another run. This is about the 4th he's done this evening, playing it through to Dickens, And this time a bit of pushing and shoving, I think, by Julian Dix, and it'll be a free kick to Liverpool.
Must give credit to West Ham. They're not just trying to play on the break, they're coming forward. Both full-backs have been prepared to come forward, Julian Dix especially, down the left-hand side. And I think, of course, they have to win this match, we know that, but they have been positive from the start. And obviously that's how they've got the results in the last few matches.
We have 6 minutes of the first half remaining here at Anfield. Still Liverpool 1, West Ham 1. John Aldridge after 19 minutes, and Leroy Rosseignol just on the half hour. 1 apiece. A match we shall keep on repeating that West Ham must win to stay in the first division. Liverpool, a draw tonight and against Arsenal will be enough, but they won't settle for that, I'm certain. They're trying now. Nicol, good run down the left. Good challenge though coming in. They tried to get it through in the end. Little Mark Ward did well there to come back and help his defenders. Ince, it's chopped away by Barnes, but West Ham will keep the possession under no real pressure deep inside their own half. Rosseignol immediately below us. Ablett comes in with a challenge. Ball runs into touch and it'll be a West Ham throw, and it'll be left to George Paris, I'm sure. A very reliable fullback, George Paris. The throw, Rosseignol, challenged immediately by Nicol. Sharp challenge too. Rush down the left. Rush moves infield. Good tackle by Ince, runs the ball away from him. Alvin Martin, who spends most of his game with his stockings round his ankles, and they've been down there since the first 10 minutes. Ward. Oh, bad ball from him. Aldridge finds Barnes. Danger for West Ham here. Barnes still drifts forward. Good challenge by Gale. Barnes still gets a second touch though. Venison, square to Whelan. Halfway inside the West Ham half, square still to McMahon. McMahon plays it down the left. Steve Nicol, good running in an outside left position. Still holds the ball, drags it onto his left foot. The cross comes in from him. And frankly, McKnight didn't know where the ball was going. It went wide in the end. Goal kick to West Ham.
Excellent move by Liverpool. 3 real quality passes. One beautiful ball from McMahon there. He had his back to Nicol. Still sensed he was free on the left-hand side. Just pushed it on with his right foot. Of course, there's a good understanding between this Liverpool side. They played together quite a lot. They know it, seem to be able to read each other perfectly. And if, as I've said so often this season, the first touch on the ball is the best. It is the best. It's real top quality.
And certainly Alan McKnight, the goalkeeper we mentioned. West Ham played Celtic £250,000 for the Northern Ireland International. And frankly, I think he took far too much punishment from the West Ham fans in the autumn and the winter. I think he was to blame on 2 or 3 games we saw, but he's done well as well. And in the end, the confidence just went away, and Phil Parkes, the old man, came back. Here's the young man, Stuart Slater, going down the right for West Ham. Jinks and turns, keeps his composure. Ince looks for the shot. Can't get there, and he's brought down by McMahon just outside the area. And now Ray Houghton joins in his arguments against the referee. And they really are hyped up here. It was clearly a foul against Ince by McMahon. Ince is down on the ground. Paul Ince, the man who scored 2 splendid goals at Upton Park when nobody could believe the score that night when we were there, that West Ham had beaten Liverpool 4-1. And I remember Kenny Dalglish that night, no excuses. He said, we never got out of second gear. West Ham were brilliant that night. And then it didn't work after that for them, which is why they're struggling at the moment. Paul Ince is now helped off his feet by 3 Liverpool players. Now the free kick is about 3 or 4 yards, I would say. Ince is still in the spot of trouble, but he's limping away. And every Liverpool player now is protecting Bruce Grobbelaar. 10 red shirts. Liam Brady will try a bit of the old-fashioned magic. And Mark Ward's there too. And Ward runs away and in fact goes in the Liverpool wall. And Brady says, I don't want to be bothered with it either. And nobody seems to want to take it at the moment. And Brady is still there. And Brady touches it wide. And Ward hits the shot, takes a deflection and goes wide. The deflection was off Rosseignol. It'll be a goal kick to Liverpool.
I think the referee's been a bit unkind here to Ince. I thought he was foul there. And he's limping rather badly. I think he should have allowed him to have some treatment there. He looks to be in a spot of bother to me. He's got a knock in his thigh, and if he gets a dead leg, he's not going to take any further part in this game.
And Paul Ince was only past fit yesterday afternoon in a trial at Upton Park from a foot injury. Well, he's limping now very heavily. And we've got 1.5 minutes of the first half remaining as West Ham play the ball back to Alan McKnight. And he wants any comfort. Most of the West Ham supporters are at his end, away there to the left. And that's a foul. And this time it goes again. Well, now we've got West Ham taking it a little leaf out of the book, because Julian Dix stamped his foot like an outraged schoolboy. And in fact, Julian Dix is being spoken to by the referee. It's become an epidemic, Jim, in the last 5 minutes. We're all going to stamp our feet, aren't we, and wave our fists and things.
Yes, I suppose there is a lot at stake, but we don't need all those problems. I think Dix has been cautioned for that foul on Venice, and Venice is walking away, and Ince is really struggling. I thought he was fouled on the edge of the area there. The referee gave the free kick. I think he should allow him some treatment. He's really struggling this far.
Liverpool then take the free kick, played short Ablett on the halfway line. Ablett plays it towards us. Stevie Nicol, player of the year, most versatile man I would have thought in the first division. Tucks the ball to Barnes, early ball forward to Nicol, asking Nicol to collect it, and does. Good control by Nicol inside the West Ham area, plays it onto the left foot. The cross comes in, wasn't right in the end. He had Houghton at the far post, he had Aldridge there, and even Ian Rush played it over the top, wasted.
Well, Stevie Nicol, he covered acres on Saturday at Wembley, and there's no fatigue in him at all. He's got a tremendous engine, good pace. He really is an outstanding player. He's right full back, left full back. I've seen him play centre midfield, central defence. When Hansen and Gillespie were injured, he did a job there for them. He's had a very good season.
And certainly Paul Ince is in a lot of bother down there, and it looks like a dead leg to me at his right thigh, and it may well be that with the referee blowing the whistle, Paul Ince now, who can hardly walk off the pitch quite frankly, he could probably get some treatment. So then we've got 2 goals in the first half here at Anfield in this vital game. The first, John Aldridge, set up beautifully by John Barnes. That was after 19 minutes, and on the half hour, Leroy Ressignol with a splendid header, beautifully balanced. Half time, Liverpool 1, West Ham 1.
Great atmosphere there, back for the second half.
20 seconds gone in the second half at Anfield. Liverpool attacking the Kop end away to our right, and attacking right from the start, because the ball was with Barnes midway inside the West Ham half. There have been 2 changes, 2 substitutions at half time, one for each side, and I'll give you them now as West Ham bring the ball clear. Alan Hansen has gone off for Liverpool. He may have picked up a knock in that first half, it wasn't obvious, but Hansen is off, so Burrows is on as substitute, and Nicol has moved into the middle of the back 4. And the change for West Ham, an expected one, Ince limping badly at the end of the first half after a hefty challenge by McMahon. He's off, and Keane is on as substitute. So the 2 lineups for Liverpool: Grobbelaar in goals, a back 4 now of Venison, Nicol, Ablett and Burrows. In midfield, Houghton, McMahon, Whelan and Barnes. Up front, Aldridge and Rush. For West Ham, in goals, McKnight, a back 4 from right to left of Paris, Gale, Martin and Dix. In midfield, it's Ward, Dickens, Keane and Brady, and up front, Ressignol and Slater. Liverpool have possession just beyond the halfway line. Aldridge, the goal scorer, stabs it out to Burrows, the substitute. On the Liverpool left, it's played forward towards Rush, edge of the penalty area, headed away but picked up by McMahon. Slots the ball through to Houghton inside the area. Chance, great tackle by Dix. Wonderful challenge by Julian Dix.
It was a great challenge, and very timely too. It's a lovely delivery from McMahon inside the fullback. I didn't think for 1 minute Dix was going to get there. I thought Houghton was favourite coming on the outside, but it was a good challenge by Dix. He read the situation well, he knew what he had in hand. It's a corner to Liverpool.
Houghton will take it short for Venison, wearing 3 but playing right back. Venison to Houghton again, lots of room to get the cross in from the right, driven in low but behind the Liverpool presence, picked up though by Burrows, edge of the penalty area, checks, touches it forward, tries to play the cross in low, it's beaten away by Paris, picked up by Whelan. Whelan, the captain, whips the ball out to this near side to Venison on the Liverpool right, forward to Barnes, Rush, Barnes again, back to Venison. Liverpool heavily on the West Ham heavily on the defensive at the moment. McMahon for Liverpool, out to Houghton on this near side, the right, back to Venison. Venison infield to Whelan. Liverpool still not happy with the options up front. Now it's played through to McMahon, stabbed forward towards Aldridge, headed away by Gale and picked up by Dickens. Dickens out to Brady on the far side. West Ham right in this second half. Forward to Slater, and Slater's going to run at Ablett, beats Ablett on the outside. Burrows is back to defend well though, just faced the West Ham striker. Paul played away, and then the hefty challenge by Whelan, and I think it was, well, it's not Dickens, I'm not sure who it was went down in the challenge there, but he's rolling around heavily, and he's finally up, and it's little Mark Ward up on his feet as Liverpool attack again. The ball played long to the edge of the West Ham penalty area. The overhead clearance by Gale, met by Keane, knocked back to Dix on this near side, West Ham left. The clearance not a good one, met by Venison. Now with McMahon just inside the West Ham half. Back to Nicol, to Ablett. Ablett out to the far side to Burrows. Nicol playing in a central defensive role, but really he's of such talent, the footballer of the year, you can play him anywhere. Liverpool attack down their right. Venison whips in the cross to the far post. Aldridge goes to meet it. Martin heads it clear, and the referees decided anyway that Aldridge pushed Martin in the back, and that will be a free kick to West Ham.
Yes, good decision, I think. Just a word about the substitution. I think it's a real blow for West Ham to lose Ince. He's a creative player, very strong. He tackled well in the first 30 minutes, certainly, and he was doing an excellent job there. So a lot of responsibility on Kevin Keane, who's come on. He's gone out onto the left-hand side. I'm glad to see Burrows playing. I think he's a real prospect, Burrows, a left full-back. Very aggressive player. He'll come forward quite a lot.
McMahon coming forward for Liverpool, running towards the penalty area, makes room for the shot, shoots, and McKnight tips it over. 20 yards the shot from Steve McMahon, and Alan McKnight, who must feel, to say the least, slightly intimidated, standing in front of the Kop, makes a fine save. The corner conceded though to Liverpool. From the far side, their left, and Barnes will take it left-footed. Here it comes now, to the near post. Whelan comes in, can't get his foot to the ball. Dix clears, and it's another corner. Whelan came in with a foot high. Some of the West Ham defenders weren't too happy about it, but he certainly made a genuine challenge for the ball, and it is another corner to Liverpool. Barnes takes it again left-footed, again high towards Whelan. Dix heads it high in the air. Out comes McKnight, gathers the ball with both hands, and West Ham can rest easy, at least for the minute. 5.5 minutes gone in the second half. Liverpool 1, West Ham 1.
Yes, West Ham haven't put anything together yet since the restart. It's been all Liverpool. They've got to get the balance right again.
Rossinier heads on to Slater, back to Rossinier, edge of the penalty area, shot right-footed, just wide. Grobbelaar just dived across to his right to make sure the ball went wide, and it is indeed a goal kick to Liverpool.
Wasn't far off that. It was a nice little header by Slater. Ablett missed it first of all. Slater just got a touch on it, and it was just enough for Rossinier, and he took it very well. No backlift at all, just a little stab really. Grobbelaar was groping at the far post. He wouldn't have got it, I don't think, because the height would have been the problem.
Grobbelaar hasn't been on a losing side this season. Liverpool haven't lost that often. When they have done, it's been Mike Hooper in goals. But Liverpool unbeaten in 23 games since a 3-1 defeat at Old Trafford, Manchester. Liverpool poised for the second double in 4 years, but they've got to get certainly something in Friday night. Just what, we'll know at the end of this game. West Ham attack on the far side, their right. Ward then just overruns the ball a little carelessly, and it's a throw into Liverpool as the ball ran out of play. Quickly taken by Burrows to Whelan, forward to McMahon inside the centre circle, played right-footed out to this near side to Venison, still short of the halfway line. Venison plays it back to McMahon inside the centre circle once more. Burrows goes on the run, Whelan spots him on the far side. Burrows picks it up deep inside the West Ham half, on the Liverpool left, makes room for the cross, then checks, plays it back to Barnes, edge of the penalty area, inside the area now. John Barnes, he's trying to make room for the cross, crosses to the far post, but it drifts behind, and that's a goal kick to West Ham.
Yes, I said Burrows had come forward. There he was, good halfway into West Ham's half. He's prepared to run forward. He's an aggressive player. Burrows lost his place recently to Staunton, but I think he's a real prospect. Of course, Kenny Dalglish paid a lot of money for him. I can't remember how much it was. It was a lot of money. It was about 600,000, I think. At the
West Ham are putting on a sterling display. No one envied them the task of coming to Anfield to win to stay in the First Division, but they're holding the champions at the moment. 1 goal each. Aldridge for Liverpool, Rossinier for West Ham. Ball is out of play in the far side, throw into Liverpool, taken quickly by Burrows to Barnes. Burrows keeps Barnes company on the left. Barnes hits it long towards Aldridge, who takes it on his chest. Martin then holds him back, does he? And the referee spots it, and that is a free kick to Liverpool in a position of some danger to West Ham. 3 or 4 yards outside the penalty area, slightly to the left of the D as far as Liverpool are concerned, and 5 players make up the West Ham wall. Paris drifting away, Barnes takes the free kick short to Venison, who shoots, gets a deflection, and that's going behind for a corner. West Ham were still lining up their defensive wall when Barnes took the free kick. I think it actually took Venison a bit by surprise. He was a little late taking off in the sprint towards the ball, still got to it, and his shot deflected has won a corner. Houghton takes it right-footed to the near post. Barnes with a header on. Whelan can't be on the end of that one, and West Ham cleared at the halfway line. Picked up by Steve Nicol. Nicol drives it long, too long for Ray Houghton, and that's going out of play for a throw into West Ham, about a yard from the corner flag, deep inside the West Ham half. Taken the throw by Dix, flicked on by Rossignol and Dickens, but Venison is there to win possession for Liverpool. Venison infield to Whelan, back to Venison, to McMahon. Dickens challenges him. McMahon holds him off and then plays the ball long. I think he was hoping to find John Aldridge on the end of it, but it wasn't a very accurate ball, and it went straight through to McKnight.
Yeah, it's not Liverpool quality, that one at all. It was poor delivery really from McMahon. Mentioned Aldridge there. He's been having a little bit of a scrap with Alvin Martin tonight. The two of them have been at it hammer and tongs really. It's I think I'm right in saying Alvin Martin comes from Merseyside, doesn't he? I think
Bootle.
Yes.
But
yes,
in fact he's one of two Scousers, because I think you can call Mark Ward a Scouser from Prescott. And Mark Ward, of course, it was who provided the cross for the Rossignol equaliser. Alvin Martin certainly not acting very friendly towards the city of Liverpool tonight. Certainly not the Liverpool half of it, the red half of it. The West Ham substitute, Keane, finds Brady. Now Ward, midway inside the Liverpool half. He's got Paris to his right. Ward still keeps possession and then flicks the ball towards Rossignol over the head of the striker and into the arms of Grobbelaar, whose long clearance will be met by either Gale or Rush. It's Gale, but he can only direct the header to Houghton just across the halfway line. Near side, Liverpool right. Houghton infield to Whelan, to McMahon outside the centre circle, running now midway inside the West Ham half. McMahon takes on Brady, edge of the penalty area. He's well challenged by Dickens, and West Ham bring it clear through Dickens and Brady, and now Ward on the far side. A yard in from the far touchline, the West Ham right. Ball driven along that right touchline for Slater to chase. Ablett holds him off and then concedes the corner, much to the delight of the West Ham fans, who are grouped away in that far corner. And the first corner of the second half to West Ham.
He's a game lad, Slater, isn't he? You know, he's shown a lot of endeavour in that first half. He seemed to be chasing a lost cause there, but he caught Ablett up and won the corner.
The corner taken from the far side towards the edge of the penalty area. Gale heads it back. Rossignol's not there, but the ball's played high. Grobbelaar comes out, gathers it, and none too happy about the challenge from Rossignol. Well, I think actually, to be fair, it was Gary Ablett who ran into Grobbelaar, but the goalkeeper will make his feelings known anyway to the referee.
Yes, Rossignol, he's always dangerous when the ball comes into the box in the air. He's a very brave lad. He's got quite a good touch on the ball as well.
Liverpool in possession with Whelan. Plays the ball back to Ablett, quickly played forward to McMahon inside the centre circle. Rush comes short. McMahon hits it long for Houghton on this near side. Liverpool right, faced by Keane, the substitute. Plays it forward to Rush, goes for the return inside the penalty area. An important deflection though by Dix to deflect the ball back to McKnight in the West Ham goal.
Jack Charlton was telling me he doesn't think he's seen anybody has a greater fitness level than Ray Houghton, and I think he must be right. He never stops running. He's never stopped tonight again. On Saturday he was all over the place. He has been tonight. Never stops running at all.
Speaking of Jack Charlton, Jimmy, I wonder why Liam Brady does not have a more prominent role in the Republic of Ireland side. Even at the age of 33, he's still got the class, the technique. He's had a wonderful game tonight and helped keep, for the moment, his side in the First Division. Whelan for Liverpool. Back to McMahon, forward to Barnes, midway inside the West Ham half. Burrows goes on a run, Barnes checks, plays it short to McMahon, out to Whelan. Liverpool playing little triangles at the moment, and West Ham can't get the ball from them. Whelan hits it forward low towards Rush, edge of the penalty area. He's challenged by both Dix and Martin, and West Ham bring it clear with Keane. Keane takes on Houghton, does well, beats him. Now he's running straight into Barnes and Houghton, and inevitably he loses possession. Barnes for Liverpool, checks, turns to the left of Keane, stabs it forward to Aldridge. The return ball to Rush, and he tried to find Barnes, but the pass intercepted by Gale. The clearance met by Burrows though for Liverpool. Quickly played forward to Barnes. Now there's Rush on the edge of the penalty area. He can't gather it, and West Ham hit it clear again. Burrows once more picks it up. Good ball by Burrows to McMahon, midway inside the West Ham half, running towards the penalty area, flicked into the area for Houghton. Chance for Liverpool, cross low, deflected by Dickens onto the post and behind for a corner.
Bit of a let off there. It was a great ball inside, lovely ball inside, and Houghton was there, read it well, drove it perfectly. I thought it was in the net when it hit Gale.
The corner's taken quickly by Houghton for Venison. McMahon out to Houghton again, looking for the cross from the right. Keane faces him. Houghton plays it low, left-footed, not a good one, and Julian Dix brings it clear for West Ham. Forward to Slater, neat touch off by Slater for Ward, crossing the halfway line, leaves it for Brady. Brady, 5 yards in from the far touchline. West Ham right in the second half. Brady plays the ball away to Keane, near side. West Ham left, now it's with Brady again. Room for Ward on the far side. Attacking now the Liverpool penalty area, takes on Burrows on the outside, it's brought down by Burrows, and that's a free kick.
He's always a threat, Alan, Mark Ward. You know, I remember him from his days, going back a bit, at Northwich Victoria to start with. I remember seeing him play there, and then he went to Oldham, and he looked a good little player at Oldham. He used to spoil himself with his temperament a little bit. But Joe Royal always thought he would make a good First Division player. He's done quite well.
He was an apprentice at Goodison Park, just across Stanley Park. Apprentice at Everton, now a key player for West Ham. The free kick just outside the penalty area, right side, taken by Ward. Rossini with a header, but it only goes up. And anyway, the linesman on this side has spotted an infringement, and it will be a free kick to Liverpool. A quarter of an hour gone in the second half. Liverpool 1, West Ham 1, and if it should remain at that scoreline, then West Ham will be relegated, Aston Villa will stay up, and Arsenal will need to beat Liverpool on Friday night to be champions. Liverpool would be happy with a point. It's still England 0, Chile 0 at Wembley. A thriller at Wembley, I suppose. It's certainly a thriller here. Vital league match. Whelan, the Liverpool captain, to McMahon, edge of the centre circle, finds Houghton near side, Liverpool right, moves in field. Houghton leaves the ball for Whelan. McMahon's on the run to the edge of the penalty area. Now he comes back. Whelan plays it to Venison, infield to Barnes, picked up by McMahon, but he's robbed now by Paris, running through the centre circle and beaten inevitably by Nicol. Forward to Rush to Barnes. Barnes still has possession midway inside the West Ham half, rolls the ball with his left foot, finds McMahon. Now it's with Venison. Liverpool with plenty of possession in this second half, but not too many as yet direct strikes on goal. Now it's with Burrows, the left full-back, the substitute left full-back, on the far side, midway inside the West Ham half, chips it forward towards Barnes. He's beaten by Dickens, who's had a fine match for West Ham, both attacking and defensive, and the ball is out of play on the far side of the field, and it's a throw-in to West Ham. You've got a note there, Jim. I'm dying to know what's on that note.
It shows how many people are listening to us. I've just been handed a note, actually. It says that that commenter made about Alvin Martin coming from Merseyside, and somebody's written it down here very kindly. Alvin Martin is a Bootle boy. That's the uninitiated. Yes, just up the road here. Who was on Everton's books until he was 16 years old. So he'll be trying, won't he?
Houghton running towards the West Ham penalty area. Takes on Gale, beats him. Chance for Ray Houghton. Houghton has scored! The cop rises. Ray Houghton's 7th goal of the season. He took Gale on. Gale seemed to stumble. Houghton got free to the right of the West Ham defender and played the ball left-footed past McKnight from 10 yards. Liverpool 2, West Ham 1, and that could be a very significant scoreline.
Yes, it could. So when you were just talking about how now he never stops running. He just powered into the area there, and for a moment West Ham's defence, who played exceptionally well, they just hesitated really. I thought really they should have closed him down quicker than they did. They seemed to stand, but he took advantage of it, got round Gale, left footer into the corner.
Slater attacking inside the Liverpool penalty area, and he does well. He forces Ablett to concede the corner. Tremendous show of pace there from the young West Ham player to get round Gary Ablett, who's no slouch, and it will be a corner to West Ham. Mark Ward will take it, right-footed from the far side, the West Ham right. West Ham need a couple of goals urgently. Martin heads it on at the edge of the penalty area, helped clear by Liverpool. There's McMahon, scouser that he is, to guide the ball, shepherd the ball back to Grobbelaar, and Grobbelaar will just wait while Tony Gale thinks about standing there and then finally moves away. And I can't help but feel that Gale's stumble may have helped West Ham into the second division.
I'm wondering, really, I was just wondering a few minutes ago, really, about whether John Lyle may have thought about McAvenny. You know, I feel at this moment in time that Rossini has just been stranded the last few minutes up there on his own. They haven't been in the game quite as much recently. And I feel it's because Rossini has been stranded a bit. Slater's running all over the place. He's working his heart out, this lad. He really is. But I think he will have to think about a goal scorer. McAvenny is a goal scorer, so I think John Lyle will have to put this into his mind. They've got to win this match.
Well, he's been out of the side for the last 4 games with injury.
Yes.
And he's yet to score, of course, since coming back to West Ham from Celtic.
Good time to get one, Alan.
But he's got a proven record. Free kick to West Ham, taken by Gale, hit into the Liverpool penalty area, but Martin was pushing into Steve Nicol, and it's a free kick to Liverpool. Grobbelaar, no more than a couple of yards from the edge of his penalty area, hits it to Ablett, it's returned, and Grobbelaar will wait, and he gives it to Ablett once more. Ablett, forward to Nicol. Plenty of room, Nicol. What a marvellous season Steve Nicol's had. Tremendous play-anywhere player. Has the ability to play anywhere. Do you remember that rush of goals that he had at the start of last season? He can do about everything. I haven't seen him in goals yet.
No, he's very, very versatile player. I think the nearest I've seen to him really is Paul Madeley. You know, I used to have at Leeds United. He was the same. He could play him anywhere. He was. I remember playing Paul Madeley once on the left-hand side midfield at Arsenal, and he looked like a real tried and trusted left winger.
McAvenny is warming up. So too is Peter Beardsley. I mean, Rush comes on as substitute at Wembley and scores 2 goals. He's worth millions. Beardsley's substitute for Liverpool tonight. He's worth millions. It must be frightening for any team to look at the Liverpool substitutes bench and see players of that calibre waiting to come on, hoping to come on to get into this rich 11 from Anfield.
I think one of the things about coming here is that you mustn't be intimidated by names. You know, I always believe that, you know, you must come here and play, try and attack. Teams that come here and try and defend, I think that's really dangerous. And that's why West Ham did well in the first half, particularly. They came at Liverpool when they could. But I think they've missed in. I really think they've missed in since half-time.
McMahon plays it forward. Gale's headed down, though, for West Ham. Picked up by Dix. Forward to Brady. Brady almost runs into Whelan and then checks and sweeps it to the far side of the field, where it's picked up by Mark Ward, just short of the halfway line. Ward moves infield, plays it to Brady, but it wasn't a good ball, and McMahon stabs it forward, and Martin surely was holding Aldridge back. He was. Martin sort of waves a hand of discontent at the linesman who gave the decision, but the free kick is taken. West Ham still waiting to make a substitution. The free kick is wasted by Liverpool. McAvenny desperate to get on. Slater is the man who's going to come off, but Slater's on the ball at the moment after the mistake by Ablett. Slater crosses low. Rossini almost there, but out comes Grobbelaar. Galler's possession. Liverpool escape, and that might be the last touch for Stuart Slater in this game. Maybe not. It's now with Paris. Slater's calling for the ball. He gets it. Running towards the Liverpool penalty area. Stabs it through. Paris hasn't got the pace. Liverpool bring it clear. Midway point in the second half. Liverpool leading by 2 goals to 1. And as Houghton attacks the Kop, here's Peter Jones.
Houghton indeed, just inside the area. Runs away from Ian Rush. Picked up by Alan McKnight, the West Ham goalkeeper. Desperately now, West Ham trying to stay in the first division. They needed, remember, to win here tonight. They've played some very, very good football. They've been positive, but in the second half, without Paul Ince, as Jimmy Armfield was saying, it certainly has made a difference to the West Ham setup, and it's really been all Liverpool in the second half. As George Paris does a little bit of fouling on John Barnes, and we're still waiting for the West Ham substitution, I'm sure, of McAvenny for Liam Brady. As Liverpool go forward again, ball laid square. Venison will hold it just below us. Square to McMahon. McMahon halfway inside the West Ham half to Barnes. Barnes plays it through the gap. Little turn ball by Rush. Almost drops to Aldridge. Cleared well by Julian Dix. Had a good performance, the left back for West Ham, Julian Dix. One very timely tackle about 10 minutes ago that denied Ray Houghton. Liverpool 2, West Ham 1. West Ham with the possession. Cross coming in, looking for Senor again. Gets the chest in, and Grobbelaar's twice there, Jimmy. Grobbelaar's done very well in his timing coming off his line.
Did very well there, very sharp reflex. It was a good ball in. Rossini did very well to knock it down across the 6-yard area. But just a few moments ago, they had the number up for Slater to come off the pitch. I think that kid would have been a bit unlucky if he'd have come off. He's looked to me as though he could be a bit of a threat even yet.
Yeah, Stuart Slater, who's been very impressive. A nice ball to McMahon. McMahon tries the shot. He doesn't. He dummies. Now he takes the shot straight into the arms of Alan McKnight. And a little bit of class there by McMahon. Dummied the fullback, went inside. I thought he would have broken the net and put it out through the cop end. Instead, it was a fairly gentle one straight into the arms of McKnight.
Lovely ball from Houghton too, but he did everything right, McMahon, except apply the finish.
As again West Ham will go forward, a chance for O'Senor here, and the flag has gone up. A shout from the West Ham supporters, but the flag had gone up, and now indeed Liam Brady is coming off the field, which has been characteristic of the old fella, but still a cultured player, lovely to watch, and great applause from the West Ham supporters, and why not? So on comes Frank McAvenny, fair hair and all. They paid 1.25 million to bring him back from Celtic to West Ham, and now they're going to ask for a little more than Scottish magic, Jim, from Frank McAvenny.
A bit surprised at that substitution, really. I think I might have been tempted to leave Liam Brady. I know he's sort of not as fit as he used to be, but he's still the kind of player who could provide the vital cross that West Ham need.
McMahon, another good ball to Houghton, slips as he tried the cross, but he really is piercing the West Ham defence now, McMahon, as West Ham desperately try to turn the pages back to 1963, which is the last time they won here at Anfield. They won 2-1, but they had players like Mr. Martin Peters then and Mr. Geoff Hurst, and they don't have those players now, although certainly 20-year-old Stuart Slater has been very, very impressive, and indeed has Mark Ward too. As the ball is halfway inside the Liverpool half, again everybody closed down by so many Liverpool players. McMahon, little ball through the gap to Rush. The idea was to get into the path of Aldridge, didn't quite work though, and McKnight will clear long, too long. Ablett chases away a left back position, stands on the ball, just skids for a moment, but he's going to be all right, and Burrows will help him out and lay it square, and the ball is on the edge of the area with Steve Nicol. Liverpool lead by 2-1, and a score, if it stays like that, means West Ham go back to the second division, and then Arsenal would have to come here on Friday and win.
Yes, goals are important to Liverpool as well. They may be looking to try and seal this championship tonight. If they could get another couple, it would...
Well, Aldridge is trying now. Aldridge on the edge of the area. He stumbles, tries to play the ball back. Read well by George Paris. Then Paris gets himself in a spot of bother. Ball breaks to Barnes. There's a scrummage outside that West Ham penalty area. Goes square to Houghton. Houghton going down the right. Houghton has to check, and he holds the ball, so dangerous with the crosses. This time flicks it back, and the ball is driven in there by Venison. And in the end, West Ham, well, Tony Gale flicks it back, and it's still the same scoreline down at Wembley. England 0, Chile 0. The build-up, of course, for the World Cup, one hopes, in Italy next year. 0-0 at the moment at Wembley. Here, with exactly 27 minutes gone in the second half at Anfield. Vital to both teams. West Ham to survive, and Liverpool possibly to get the double. The only league side ever to get it twice. Whelan, not quite sure what he was trying there, but Aldridge went down on his knees as if praying for a better ball than he got there. Gets up, and Alan McKnight, the goalkeeper, hurries away to pick the ball up, and we've got another substitution, and we've got a cheap man on the market now, $1.25 million, Peter Beardsley. And Peter Beardsley will come on, and John Aldridge has got so used to this now, runs off the pitch. The man who set Liverpool on their way against Everton last Saturday with the first goal, and then Ian Rush came on for him and scored twice. The rest is history now, of course, as far as the FA Cup is concerned. Still everything to play for here. 17 minutes still of this match remaining. West Ham, although they've got now a large mountain, are still fighting, and they're still playing positive football, but they certainly miss Paul Ince, who was tackled fairly severely by McMahon 5 minutes before half-time and didn't come out for the second half. And as Jimmy Armfield's been stressing, I think they've missed his influence and certainly his skill in midfield. Well, the West Ham supporters away to the left are chanting attack, attack, and that's exactly what West Ham are trying as they play it square. Dickens keeps it going out to Ward, far side. Paris runs outside in the full-back, decides to go it alone, Ward, though. And then in the end, the cross will come in, and Ablett comes in with the header across his own goal line. Total misreading of the situation by Ablett and Grobler.
Yeah, it was a good job he got his head on it, because I think Dickens would have buried that. He was running in full pelt in the 6-yard box, but West Ham still there, got a corner.
Mark Ward then will take the corner, far side down there right, floats it wide. Rossignol gets the header in. Heading straight back again though by Ablett. And here come Liverpool on the break. 2 attackers, 3 defenders. McMahon still holds. Aldridge is going outside him, and Rush tries the shot. Oh, it's a foot wide. McMahon setting it up again. Good running by Rush. He had Beardsley in the left, went alone in the end, beat McKnight a foot wide.
That's always a danger for West Ham when they're up there attacking, as they were at the corner kick. They won the corner kick. And within 30 seconds, the ball's at the other end. 1 pass from Liverpool. Rush was in with a shot. Could easily have been 3-1 that. But that's the chance that West Ham have got to take now. They've got to push men forward. 2 goals they need. The only way they're going to do it really now is to push men forward. They've got to commit themselves. That's the problem they've got.
Dix lays it to Gale. Gale square to Alvin Martin. Tall, strong figure in the centre circle for West Ham. A flick on by McAvenny, who came on some 5 minutes ago. Ward again showing his trickery and his skills down the right. He's challenged by Burrows and by Barnes. Still gets the ball square. Paris, the fullback, has gone forward sensibly, but it was read there by Ronnie Whelan, the captain, and it'll be a throw in to West Ham with exactly 15 minutes for West Ham to rescue their first division lives here. But they're 2-1 down, and remember, they must win tonight to stay in Division 1. Paris, he's staying forward there, finds Slater, and Slater brought down by McMahon. And McMahon, the stern competitor, and I think the referee is either going to have a word or take the card out. And I must say, I thought he was there, but he didn't. And the booing you can hear is because it happened about 10 yards from the West Ham contingent, over there to the left. But there's still a little danger perhaps for Liverpool, because the free kick is only 4 or 5 yards outside the Liverpool penalty area to the West Ham right, driven in low. Header comes in from Martin. Well, it was about a yard wide, I think, from where we were sitting there, but that was a good firm header.
There's a super cross from Ward, and an excellent header too by Martin, just off target, obviously well practiced. Liverpool surprised me there. I could see him standing in the D. I thought he was on it. He looked to be on his own, and Ward picked him out. Liverpool didn't.
Grobbelaar, and he's being urged by the referee to get going with the goal kick, but Liverpool lead by 2-1. And we keep reminding you that I know a lot of Arsenal listeners tonight down there in London are listening to us, and it means that if it stays 2-1, then Arsenal must come here on Friday and win. But as George Graham was telling us last Friday, it's a one-off situation here. Next Friday it's a cup final between Liverpool and Arsenal, and while the bookies I think would put their money on Liverpool here at Anfield, Arsenal are still a very, very good side, and that could be one tremendous night. Cross again coming in. McAvenny chests it down. Can't break his way through, and in the end Houghton's gone back to help out his defence. And this is the danger now, of course, for West Ham as they strain to go forward. They could leave themselves a little bit open at the back. And the throw is taken quickly, and it's back to Keane, the first of the 2 West Ham substitutes used by John Lyle. Rossignol, McAvenny. Well, it was a difficult ball really. It was about knee high. He tried to volley it. When they go in, they're the goal of the season. When they go out, it's just booze, and that's exactly what McAvenny got, Jim.
Yes, he got underneath. It was a difficult ball to hit that. Made a good point there about Arsenal watching us, listening to us tonight. I'm sure everybody at Aston Villa will be as well, won't they?
Yes, of course, if West Ham should go down to the second division here at Anfield, it means that Aston Villa will stay up. So we'll have a lot of Villa supporters listening, I've no doubt. At the moment it's looking fairly comfortable for you. And for the West Ham supporters that couldn't get up on those slow trains up here to Liverpool, it doesn't look too good for John Lyle's men at the moment. They trail by 2-1, and they have exactly 12 minutes to do something about a situation. I was about to say desperate. Nothing's desperate for West Ham because they've always played that attractive football of theirs, but they have at times this season been very poor indeed as far as effectiveness is concerned, and in the end that's what wins matches. Whelan, left foot forward, not a good one from Whelan, surprisingly. Martin's there in plenty of time before the little scurrying figure of Ray Houghton, which Jimmy was mentioning, is Republic of Ireland manager. Jack Charlton says he's one of the fittest men in the business, and he's become such a good player, Houghton, since he moved from Oxford, with all due respects to Oxford. Since he's joined Liverpool, Jim, for me, he's improved in technique, he's improved in style, and above all, he's improved in these wicked crosses of his.
That's right. Well, basically, it's because he's playing with better players as well, and habits, you know, grow from one player to another. When he plays with Beardsley and Barnes and people like that, you know, his technique will improve with them. When you train with them, you know, you improve, your technique improves because you try to emulate them.
And Ray Houghton, who started a while with West Ham, didn't quite make it there before moving not very far away to West London, to Fulham, and then on to Oxford, and the rest we all know about. He's become a very, very good player, Ray Houghton. Ablett, deep inside his own half. Barnes, long ball from Barnes. Beardsley goes heading after it, but there's plenty of time for West Ham to regroup and play it back to Alan McKnight. 10 minutes to go.
Yes, I think the most commendable thing we can say about West Ham, really, I think, tonight is that despite a lot of the play that Liverpool have had, McKnight hasn't had to make many what I call really outstanding saves. He's made a couple of good saves, caught a couple of good crosses. But, you know, yeah, I've seen goalkeepers under far more pressure here than he has been had to deal with.
Beardsley battling for it, far side from us. And Burrows has done well to win that ball and then gets a nice return ball out to Barnes. It's read well by Gale, though, and he had to read it well, because when Barnes is in that position, either for Liverpool or for England, he's very dangerous indeed. Gale did well, and still incidentally the same scoreline down at Wembley. England 0, Chile 0. And here it's certainly an equally warm South American night. And at the moment, West Ham, well, certainly they're not being roasted, because they've made a good match of this. And until that second goal, they were always in with a chance at 1-1. Well, they still are in with a chance, but with less than 10 minutes to go now at Anfield, I think you'd put a little money on Liverpool leading by 2-1 on the pitch they love so dearly, and the Kop they love so dearly. Barnes is trying to show them what he can do. He can't do much, though, because Paris did well, and he was covered well by Gale as well. Oof. And Mark Ward goes spinning to the ground, and Burrows acknowledges that fact, and the referee must have more than a stern word, I would have thought, here with David Burrows. Enthusiasm may be, but certainly Mark Ward went spinning to the ground there, and I think this time it is a question of the notebook and the pen and the card, and Burrows goes in the book.
Yes, West Ham were never in for an easy ride here tonight, and despite winning the Cup on Saturday, Liverpool have offered a physical presence when it's been required. We've had Hansen booked, we've had Burrows booked, they've challenged for every ball. The commitment level is still very high at Anfield, very high.
Paris with the free kick then for West Ham. Read well by Rush, who'd gone back as a defender. Beardsley, Barnes to Beardsley, back to Barnes, 10 yards inside the half, another return ball to Beardsley. Again, good work though, but and then Dick spoils his good work by giving it to Beardsley. A chance here for Houghton. Houghton's there, and Houghton makes it 3-1. Crowns a superb evening. A mistake by Julian Dix. He let in Peter Beardsley. Beardsley crossed to Houghton. Houghton dummied the goalkeeper, fired it home at the Kop end. The Kop loving it now, and possibly two hands of Liverpool are on the championship trophy. It could be the double yet again. Liverpool 3, West Ham 1. I fear now for West Ham.
Yes, I'm afraid so. It looks rather ominous now, but if they did get another goal, Liverpool 2, Arsenal would have to win by 2 goals, wouldn't they, when they come here on Friday? But it's a bad error by Dix that. He had time to clear the ball out in the right back position. He chose to come inside. I think it was basically because the lad, he didn't want to waste time. He just wanted to try and find one of his own players. He lost out to Beardsley.
And here come Liverpool again inside the area. The cross comes across an open goal, and Rush was dying to get his foot to that, and it was a foot away. We have 7 minutes exactly and 10 seconds, Jim.
Yes, I was saying about young Dix there. He was trying to find one of his own players. He lost out to Beardsley. He put it into the centre, and there's Houghton again. You know, he must have made up 40 yards to get level with Beardsley. He was only seconds before he was at the other end of the pitch.
And that was a little bit of retaliation, I suspect, by Mark Ward on David Burrows, rather unnecessary. And the referee saw that, and quite correctly is doing something about it. That was certainly retaliation by Ward, and so Ward stupidly gets his name in the book when it was totally unnecessary.
Yeah, it was frustration, isn't it? It's frustration on West Ham's part. You know, they must be terribly frustrated. It's not an easy position. There are quite a few good players in this team, West Ham, and they'll be wondering really how they've got themselves into this situation. You know, they've got enough players.
Beardsley, little dummy past Paris. Beardsley going down the left once more. Beardsley crosses it back to Rush. Good clearance by Gale, did well. Back to Barnes. There are now 15 Liverpool players, I would think, on that pitch. That's what it must seem to West Ham. Burrows, cross comes in, can't find Rush. Cleared well once again by Julian Dix. McAvenny has got about 6 miles to go, though, as far as he's concerned. and tries to get the ball out to Rossignol, can't. It's a relentless scarlet wave of Liverpool now as Barnes tries to go forward. Martin stops it though, and again it's picked up well by Dickens. Oh, and he's lost the ball though, flicked through, a chance for Houghton again, and McKnight reads it well. And now there are gaps in the West Ham defence, Jim, like the Mersey tunnel.
Yes, there are, and little Houghton will find them too. It's amazing how he got through on that ball from Whelan there. Amazing. I watched him again then. He ran 30 yards to get onto that pass.
Liverpool try again. Good covering though by George Paris before Barnes could get through. We have a little more than 5 minutes of this game remaining. Plenty of songs now to the right from the Kop. You'll recognise it. But there's certainly "I'm Forever Blowing Bubbles" coming from the left, from the West Ham supporters. A little fainter perhaps now, because this is surely the end of West Ham as far as the First Division is concerned for at least a season. But Dix is trying to go forward, and he is going forward, and he breaks down on the rock of McMahon. Oh, what a last 5 minutes here at Anfield. Houghton. Rush. Does well, picks himself up, plays the ball out to Barnes. This is Liverpool Rolls-Royce style now. Barnes holds the ball, edge of the West Ham area. He's teasing the defenders, goes down the line, Tross comes in. McKnight read it well. Angle was difficult, and he had to read that well because Rush was standing, a commanding figure. And tonight, Jimmy, Rush has shown those darting runs, which we haven't seen for a long time.
No, he is. He's looking sharp, Pete, you're right. He's looking for his chance, really, to break into this side permanently, isn't he?
He's got the ball now, Rush, and he feints and he goes through. Ian Rush is there. Oh, what a goal from Ian Rush! That was class and style, if you've seen it. Set up splendidly by the young fullback Ablett. He dummied away from the defender. He looked like a practice game. It wasn't. It was for real. Ian Rush may well have won the championship for Liverpool tonight, regardless now, I think, what Arsenal do here on Friday. Liverpool 4, West Ham 1, and the name is Ian Rush.
Tremendous goal, but West Ham, they've just gone, really. It's left Arsenal with a pile of trouble now because they've got to win by 2 goals here at Anfield on Friday. But it was West Ham just at this moment in time now. I think the second division is beckoning for them. You know, a little bit of the heart's gone out of the game.
Liverpool leading 4-1, and certainly West Ham have never given up. They've been just about demolished in the second half, but they've never ever given up at all. A little bit of kicking off the ball there between McAvenny and Nicol together. McMahon has the possession. George Paris stands in front of McMahon. It would be a great pity now if in the last 2 or 3 minutes frustration got the better of these players. It was a clumsy tackle by Paris, but McMahon got up there as if he wanted to throw Paris into the Mersey. And McMahon has been known to be competitive himself, Jim.
Yes, it was 6-1 and half a dozen of the other there. Paris was the first foul, and McMahon retaliated. Now we've got McAvenny and Nicol at it as well.
Well, Liverpool are 4-1 up. They have the possession. I'm not sure the West Ham supporters away to the left will be very happy with the Kop song at the moment, which is going down, going down, going down. I'm not sure that'll improve the situation. One hopes that when the whistle finally goes that there's no question of any crowd problems here, because remember there are no fences now at Anfield, and taunting by 2 sets of supporters not going to help the situation. Rush inside the centre circle. Oh, beautiful ball inside the fullback. Finds Houghton. There goes Houghton. Little figure, dark hair, nimble, quick. Barnes back to Houghton. Didn't get it right though. And again, Gale does well. He's never lost his cool as Gale. And then it's square from McAvenny to Dix. Dix, a 40-yard ball. Oh, and it gets as far as Rossignol. And the ball ran away from Rossignol, which was a good thing as far as Liverpool were concerned, because Grobler actually slipped Jim coming out. Yeah, he wouldn't have been near that.
Yeah, it was a good chance, that, because it was a lovely delivery from Dix.
And he had a chance for Ian Rush, and Rush is inside the penalty area. Took a little bit too much time, and Paris came back and defended well. And Ian Rush looks a bit annoyed with himself there. That was there for the taking. And goals, remember, will matter, or could matter. And I see Ronnie Whelan running forward and having very strong words with the referee, which again is not necessary. Liverpool take the corner quickly, laid square to Barnes. Barnes on the edge of the West Ham penalty area. There's danger again. Barnes with a shot, takes a deflection. 5-1 to Liverpool. Barnes took the shot. It took a deflection off George Paris, and poor McKnight was nowhere. And Arsenal now, I think, may close their ears for the rest of the commentary, because Liverpool lead 5-1.
Yes, Arsenal off this scoreline apparently still need to win by 2 goals, but as it is now, West Ham are just gone really. They've given everything, and in the last few minutes the trapdoor's just fallen open really, and they've dropped right through it. And right now it's a cruel scoreline on them, 5-1. It's a cruel scoreline. They haven't deserved a 5-1.
I agree with that, Jim.
Not at all.
I'd agree with that.
And when you're struggling, it's amazing. Barnes there had that shot, and the ball took a deflection and went into the goal. It's amazing.
And there goes the whistle, Jim, for the 90 minutes is up here, and Liverpool win by 5 goals to 1. And away to the left, the West Ham supporters, I'm delighted to say, are applauding their team, and why not? West Ham came here tonight and played some very good football. But away to the right, such scenes. The Kop is alive, red and white, and the championship could still now be theirs. Arsenal will have different things to say about that next Friday, but it's a great launching pad, Jim, for Liverpool now.
Oh yes, it is. I think a couple of words up. Full marks to Liverpool. They won the Cup Saturday, showed a lot of commitment tonight, always made it difficult for West Ham, but I thought there were 2 vital moments in this game. One was the injury to Hintz. I don't think West Ham were the same team in the second half. I think they missed him. And the other one too was the second goal, the one that Houghton scored, when for once the West Ham defence stood off. The one moment they stood off, it allowed Houghton to get in, and from him putting Liverpool 2-1 ahead, I always felt then that it was curtains for West Ham. They never really looked like it after that. I thought that was the whole crux of the matter. But disappointing for West Ham, but it's gone right through the season. It's not just the end of the season that matters. They've had a trying time. If they keep these players, I think they need a back 4 player. I think they needed one new back 4 player. But if they keep these players, I think they will be a force in the second division.
Thank you, Jimmy, very much. So the songs now come from the Kop, who are prepared to stand there until next Friday, I think, and say, come on, Arsenal, we'll see what we can do with you. First goal then by John Aldridge after 19 minutes, 1-0 to Liverpool. Rosselló with a super header on the half an hour, 1 apiece at half-time. And then, as Jimmy says, the trapdoor opened as far as West Ham are concerned. Ray Houghton made it 2-1, the same player made it 3-1, Ian Rush made it 4-1, and a minute from time, John Barnes with a shot took a deflection off George Paris. So the final scoreline here, with Liverpool FC singing and chanting the whole night long, is Liverpool 5, West Ham 1.
What a team Liverpool are. It means they've won 17 of their last 18 games and haven't lost since the first day of this new year. Tremendous stuff there at Anfield, and our commentary team were Peter Jones, Alan Green and Jimmy Armfield.